Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another videos, another paid request, this time for Buck City, who wanted me to do a commentary on The Faculty. It's been a long time since I've seen this film. I'll count down, but before I do that, for those if anyone wants to request any type of videos, a topic, reaction, a commentary, a review, a re-review, randomness, video game playthrough, a let's try, whatever, PayPal's usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. So I'm pause at the beginning. Let's do right into it. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Now the version I'm watching, you got the Mirror Match logo here coming up. And I know this is Dimension Films, so where's that logo? Here's the Dimension Films logo. Now we got the football here. Football game. And there's Robert Patrick. He's a lot right off the bat. Robert Patrick is having a lot of fun as his football coach. So I'm just watching Robert. Because I know it doesn't last long. They get this hyper and this energetic because he's the first that's going to turn. But yeah, The Faculty I did see back in the day on... I can't remember where I first saw it. I didn't get to see it in the theater. Did not get to see it in the theater. But when I saw it, I remember enjoying the film, liking the film. That kind of reminds me a bit of John Carpenter's The Thing and other movies where you'd have a shadow or someone come up, and of course we don't see what the person reacts to, but you know something came about. And of course, very reminiscent Invasion of the Body Snatchers and many other films of that nature. When this came out, it didn't do that great at the box office. I think Dimension Films was hoping there was going to be another huge success like Scream. What Scream did for horror films, that this would do for sci-fi films. But that wasn't the case. Now, it did get a cult following. And like I said, I do like the film. I think the cast especially is what makes it work. But like you could tell, Scream, script-wise, was a big influence on this. And it's one of those things where if you like that kind of writing, that kind of dialogue, you'll enjoy this. If not, then I don't know how much you'd enjoy it. But this is a lot of people I've hear about. They like the film as well. Robert Rodriguez directed this. Now, by this point, he had directed Desperado, before that, El Mariachi, among other films. And I know this is around the time that there was talks of possibly him directing Superman. Of course, that did not come to be. This is after, I think, after Tim Burton left. At the end, then there might have been talks like Robert Rodriguez might do it, but then that didn't last too long, and they're like, nope, you're done. And yeah, Robert Patrick, I'm a big fan of. Always enjoyed his work. The X Files as Agent Doggett, Copland, Terminator 2, of course, even his cameo in Wayne's World. A lot of stuff I've enjoyed, Robert. I even like this video game he voiced the lead character in called The Dig, which is a computer game, point and click. This is where we're going to do our first big special effect with the pencil here. I think what it is with this film is that I do like the film, but I remember it being a rather tame movie in terms of it doesn't have as much edge that you would think it would have. Like compared to Scream, like people really get killed, eviscerated. Well, I just say like the opening scene where the boyfriend is tied down. You see his stomach cut and the guts falling out. More so in the unrated version, which is on VHS and I think Laserdisc. Sadly, not on DVD or Blu-ray or 4K in the US, but you still see a bit of that in the theatrical cut and the R-rated cut. But yeah, it just doesn't seem as vicious and as intense as it could have been. And I think especially by the end of the film, pretty much everybody lives except I think this character dies because they threw all that stuff on her and she melted away. And then the alien itself, which is I think that one girl, the blonde girl, you find out. But most everybody lives, like Robert Patrick, even Jon Stewart, and he just has an eye patch. The kids, Funka Johnson, which her head gets taken off at one point and reattached, but she's fine. And that's the thing, is like, wow, it's technically got a very low body count. But I think this is rated R. So I don't think that, yeah, it is rated R. Yeah, isn't these others? Oh yeah, that's right. She. I remember now. This older woman's an alien infected as well. Yep. So she got stabbed a lot. The faculty. I remember not minding the soundtrack to this. Another brick on the wall. I like this version of that. We don't need no education. And I said, what makes it a watchable film for me is the cast. You know, Elijah Wood being the hero, the nerdy guy who's knows about sci-fi and stuff, which some of us can relate to. Of course, Elijah Wood later being Lord of the Rings films and others. Yet Josh Hartnett, which I thought he did a great job in this. I thought he was one of the best parts. And honestly, I think this is one of his best roles. Because he has this, with the attitude he showcases. So we're being introduced to our characters. We got Josh Hartnett, the drug dealer. We got Elijah Wood, the hero, Casey. I forgot it stopped and told people the names. Jesus. Damn. Delilah. Is that Jordana Brewster, I think? Who will be in the Fast and Furious films? I think so. I remember there's an interview with her where she talked about how, people keep saying that this film was going to be this gigantic hit because of success of films like Scream. No, what the hell is her name? Yeah, Jordana Brewster. Okay, I was right. But yeah, Jordana Brewster has said that people kept saying this is going to be such a big hit, it's going to be such a massive hit, and then it wasn't. Like, it did all right or so compared to the budget, and then it would get this cult following. On the flip side, she did Fast and Furious. Oh, it's just this little car movie, and then it became this humongous franchise. So I guess you never know what's going to be a hit, what's not. Now, wow, that one, I forgot he was in this. Is that like Danny Masterson? He's in jail now. You don't pay, you don't punk. Guaranteed to jack you up. Elijah Wood, at this point, he had done films like The Good Son, among others. So he had done films here and there, but this is right on the precipice of the humongous success of The Lord of the Rings, which was, 2001? There's Selma Hayek. Oh, wow, that's Harry Knowles. The bigger guy with the orange hair and orange beard. You barely saw on the left here. The one Selma Hayek is working on. God, Harry Knowles, I forgot, yeah. For those back in the day who remember Ain't a Cool News, which at one point was like the biggest website ever on the internet. And yeah, he pretty much got canceled. Apparently he was a creepazoid with women, and that's why you never hear of him anymore. And you never really hear of him. Like, Ain't a Cool News is still around. But not just that, but the fact that just so many other avenues, news sites, websites, YouTube, they all just overshadowed Ain't a Cool News, and now what used to be the hip place to go to find all the latest news and gossip and stuff no one else would find out, now it's just old hat. And I am honestly surprised that, like I said, I'm honestly surprised that site is even around still. And of course, that's Piper Laurie, who was in Carrie. The original Carrie's the mom. And there's Famke Janssen as the nervous, shy teacher, which is it's a different type of role for her, because I'm so used to her playing completely different type of characters, which was Deep Rising was the same year, which I love. Deep Rising with Tree Williams, rest in peace to Tree. Of course, not too long after this, she was Jean Grey in X-Men and X-Men 2 and so forth. And I don't know what she does nowadays. I can't remember the last thing she's been in. But I do like her as an actress. have to look up what she's done lately. Well, I apparently there's a spoiler, so I won't give it away. Boy Teal's World. That's right. That's the last thing I saw her in. That's right. She was in Boy Teal's World. That's right. Okay, so that's the last thing I saw her in. Oh yeah, she was in this film interesting called 100 Feet, directed by Eric Red, who did Body Parts with Jeff Fahey, among others. Interesting story about a woman that is under house arrest. She had killed her husband in self-defense, and now it's like the ghost of her dead husband is haunting her while she has this ankle bracelet and she can't leave the house, thus 100 feet. It's an interesting idea that Eric Red came up with, and it has its flaws, but I liked the movie. I liked her. I like the guy that plays the detective, Bobby Cannavale, who I've seen in other movies. So I thought that's a pretty decent film. 100 Feet. Of course, more and more faculty are being taken over. Now, this guy, this teacher, I know I've seen him in stuff. Daniel Van Barden. Daniel Van Barden sadly passed away 2015. What I saw him in was... Let me make sure I did it right. He played the main bad guy in Lord of Illusions, Nyx. So I remember him from that in Lord of Illusions, which was before this. And yeah, he was in RoboCop 3, he was in Philadelphia, he was in Broken Arrow as an Air Force general, G.I. Jane. That's right, he was the general in Universal Soldier The Return. I saw him in that too. Now this girl who plays Mary Beth, that's Laura Harris. Which... I don't know what else she's done. Okay, there's a few I recognize. A Mighty Wind, Severance, 2006. I mean, she's done a couple films, nothing too big, too crazy. A lot more TV work, it seems. And of course, Jordana Brewster, she found a lot of success with the Fast and Furious movies. And of course, the other girl is Clea Duvall, as Stokely, which I know she was in quite a few films around this time. She was in Ghosts of Mars, the John Carpenter film. She was in Identity. I think she was in the Grudge film from 2004. Yeah, she was in a few films in this era. And She's All That was another one. So she works from time to time, but we got Elijah Wood being the inquisitive one, piecing the things together. Robert Patrick is so good. Even the ball of fury and energy in the beginning. Even this just being sinister. So good. Such a great choice. Again, is the cast is what makes the film for me. Because the plot, again, is body snatchers, that type of stuff that you've seen before. People being taken over one by one. Who do we trust? And I mean, there was the 50s body snatchers, the 70s one. My favorite is the 90s one by Abel Ferrara, and then The Invasion with Nicole Kidman. You two need to have sex already. Which I think they do get together. And that guy, Sean Odysee is his name. Which I think another film I saw him in was Alpha Dog, I believe. And Animal Kingdom, that's right. Just someone that requested a few episodes of Animal Kingdom. I remember him being pretty good in that for the little bit I saw. I don't know if the guy will request more because I haven't heard from him. But yeah, I did like Animal Kingdom, again, what I had seen. No, I mean, knowing that Mary Beth here is the alien, you kind of see what she's doing, is she's kind of judging from the outside of who is lonely, who is an outsider, maybe trying to understand them, trying to figure out how to play these guys off each other. So I have to respond to someone. Okay, sorry. Just had to respond to someone. Doing multiple things at once. Come on, what are you doing? And there's Jon Stewart. Which, I mean, he did a couple films. He was in... Was it Big Daddy he was in? Adam Sandler? And there's Usher. Which is funny because you look at the poster, Usher is like up in front as in, well, yeah, like up in front as if he's one of the lead kids, and he's really not. He's like barely in it. Which is funny because they have all the main principles of the kids except Sean Odysee's character. So they took him out and put Usher in. I have to think, if you're that Sean guy, you're going, what the hell? Like, I'm one of the stars of the film, and I'm not even on the poster, but Usher is barely in the film, but he's on the poster. I mean, the teachers are not on the poster, it's the kids. And here we see more of the designs of the creature here. The parasite. Who's going to take over the school? Well, it's already taken over the school bit by bit. Interesting that it would mimic her hand. So I'm trying to look up info if you're wondering if you hear this like sound of the keyboard clicking. It says in 1990, David Wechter and Bruce Kimmel wrote their first draft of the script and sent it out. There were no buyers. It wasn't until the success of Scream that Miramax bought the script and rushed in production. Bob Weinstein and Harvey brought in Kevin Williamson to do rewrites. keeping the basic story but rewriting the dialogue and adding new characters to make it more hip. Kevin Williamson was set to direct the film, but he chose not to do it, so he could do what was called Killing Mrs. Tingle, but because of like Columbine and other stuff, it became Teaching Mrs. Tingle. The Weinsteins brought in Robert Rodriguez to direct the film instead. It takes place in Ohio, but was shot in Austin, St. Marcus, Dallas, and Lockhart, because Robert liked shooting a lot in Texas. Of course, they got Marco Beltrami because he did the music for Scream, so do the music for this. Box office. It debuted at number 5, making $11.6 million, and it eventually grossed $40 million. Studio's decision to release the movie on Christmas Day, at a time when audiences are likely to watch traditional dramas or feel-good fare. Yeah, but at the same time, the first Scream was released around that time, and then it got this big word of mouth that it kept building and building and building. That wasn't quite the case for this, so that's why they released it around Christmas time, as they did, because Scream was released in December. But granted, I don't know what date in December. Like Christmas Day. Yeah. What did Scream? I don't think that wasn't Christmas Day, was it? It was in December, I know. December 20th. So close. Close. But then again, it built up. Yeah. Yeah, the idea here is that whatever took her over is not really being acceptable to her body. That's a good makeup effect. I'll give you that. So that was a pretty decent makeup effect there. Again, not as grisly as some of the other films of that time, but that ain't cancer, man. I'll tell you. He says a lot of things that ain't no damn cancer. You tell Elijah and them are not buying it. Yeah, that's the thing. They liked water. They really, really liked the water. That's why you saw Robert drinking so much. That's why you see Robert here. That was a weird edit. This kind of like, two. But she didn't do anything. She was just staring. Such a weird ass kind of off-putting. Was that like a jump scare, I guess? Wow, VHS tapes. That shows how this time period was. Well, to be fair, there are people that still sell VHS tapes, so granted, just be a lot of people like flash drives or something, but to be fair, there are still a couple people that buy VHS tapes. Of course, this comes back later where you have this very shy, nice teacher, and then Josh just can't help himself being a dick, and you see that guilt part of him, like, he can't help it because of his backstory, because of his upbringing, whatever the case may be, and he just has to let that out, and then realizes that actually this is the wrong person to do it. He feels so. It's a bit of character building. It's a nice bit of character building. You know, the drug dealer maybe has a little bit of heart to him. Yeah, here's a Jordana Brewster interview. It was the opposite of Fast and Furious. With the Fast and Furious, I was like, oh, it's a small movie about cars. So it's a fun project. But then it was so huge. With the faculty, it was like, you guys, this will be huge. Look at all these successes around us. Like, She's All That and Stream. And it wasn't such a huge hit. Thought it was going to be massive, but it became a cult classic. That's cool. The critics roasted it, 58% Rotten Tomatoes, a ripoff of other sci-fi thrillers. Well, I mean, that's true, but it's an entertaining one. Robert Rodriguez in May 2023. Over time, people responded to mixed genre films a lot. I've never heard people talk so enthusiastically about The Faculty until the last couple of years. I hear about that movie so much now. So... He said making the movie was a blast. There was so much young energy and the actors were just so into it. I will say I was worried he wouldn't do well, though. I wanted them to use a different title because our target audience wasn't going to want to see a movie about teachers. So I fought for a better title. I think they didn't know how to sell it, which is why I think so many people discovered it later and now coming out and being like, hey, this movie's pretty good. Elijah Wood said, that was a formative experience. It was so fun getting a chance to work with Robert Rodriguez, who had a very different approach than any other director I'd worked with. Clea Duvall says, it's cool to see the legs the movie has had. So I feel that's the number one thing people come up to me and talk about. The film has been praised for its portrayal of teenage alienation. A metaphor for those concepts, reflecting the fear of losing one's individuality to a crowd. The Alien Queen offers the heroes a world without alienation or differences. Here's Selma Hayek, who of course had worked with Robert before on films like Desperado. So, I think the same, well... It might have been actually after this that Robert Rodriguez, there was talks of him directing the Superman. I know at one point, because I remember there's a story where Kevin Smith talked about how he was working on Dogma with Chris Rock, and Chris came up and said, well, guess who's going to be Jimmy Olsen? I didn't. At one point it was Tim Burton, of course, and then when they cut the budget, I think people left. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So there's the old woman there. Of course, nowadays you just have a damn cell phone and record everything. You know, like this, like record that, kill there, record the dead body, show everybody. Oh snap! All right, Elijah, gonna be a little bit of an action guy here. And there's they're like, wait a minute, I thought she was stabbed. Bebe Neuwirth, actress, singer, and dancer. So that old woman that died and Bebe Neuwirth are like some of the few that stay dead by the end of the movie. Maybe that's the thing. Like I remember when I first watched this, I thought, oh man, a lot of kids are gonna be getting killed and murdered, and it wasn't really the case by the end there. 6.6 out of 10 IMDb. Of course, who's going to believe them? Well, of course, the cops don't get there. It's going to be cleaned up. Of course it is. Big surprise. Ah, Shooter McGavin. I forgot Christopher McDonald was in this as Elijah's dad. I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot to do in this, but still, always nice to see Shooter McGavin in there. So apparently Harry Knowles found out that Peter Jackson was doing Lord of the Rings, and he told Elijah Wood to go for it, even though the actor never read the book. Yeah, I don't know what they expected. Of course they were damn cleaned up. But yeah, I don't know what Elijah Wood expected. I could have told you the body wouldn't be there when they got back with the cops. And yeah, this is around the time Josh Hartnett did Halloween H2O. So I don't remember which came first. For some reason, I kept thinking he was like somehow like this was first and then H2O, but H2O I think came out before this. So yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I think H2O came out before this. Of course, Elijah Wood and Josh Hartnett would work with Robert again on Sin City. The car Josh drives is a 1970 Pontiac GTO. Again, it's like, well, what do you expect? Of course they're not going to believe you. Big surprise. This is interesting. If you look at the characters of the cast in relation to the Breakfast Club, you'll note that there is a princess, Jordana Brewster, a jock, Sean Hatosy, a brain, Elijah Wood, an outcast, Claire Duvall, and a criminal, Josh Hartnett. This is a big hint to who the alien is, as Mary Beth is the only one as a southern new girl who doesn't fit the grouping. I never thought that before, but that's actually really interesting. I never put that together, but yeah. If that was done on purpose, that is really, really clever. That is really clever, Red. Huh. Wow, okay. That is interesting. Which again, it's funny on the poster, there's 6 people, and it's like Usher is not really part of the group, but he got the poster. Of course, it's the market because of Usher being a more of a famous guy than Sean Hatosy. Again, Elijah, what do you expect? Of course, you got to have a parent play a ditch, so get Shooter McGavin. Of course, the parents don't believe him. God, with parents like those, you want to be with the damn aliens. You got a damn robot bud? What the hell? Not something you would want to see. Oh yeah, that falling bit, of course, that was definitely used for the trailers to have the action put in there of him falling. Damn, these damn aliens are ninjas. 1 minute they're there, 1 minute they're gone. Fuckers are fast. Fuckers are fast. Shit. Fast as shit. They're already fucking gone. I mean, of course you gotta have the parent not believe in the kid. That's kind of par for the course for these type of films. No adult, no one for help. So you gotta be on your own 2 feet, as well as something that our characters will bond with. Can't have help from your family. Why not help from a stranger? Of course, Robert Patrick telling a whole bunch of lies and BS. Being full of it. And full of shit. And this is where we're going to see a bit more of studying the... Sorry I'm not saying much about it. I'm not being that enlightening. Because, again, I haven't seen this film. I don't remember if I reviewed it. If I reviewed it, then whenever that review was is the last time I saw it. So, years. It's not a film I rewatch a whole lot. I think because, like I said, I do like the film. I keep repeating that because I like the cast. I do like the interactions of some of the characters. There's Harry, Harry Knowles. And he got canceled well and good. Because you never hear of that guy again. This is a massive room for our damn faculty room. Massive as hell. I worked hard for that D. That's my D. I deserve that D. Well, get the D here, you know. I'll get the wrong D. If you deserve a D, then go find whatever the hell. I remember this is I think it was part of the trailer. Is this going to be on the test? This is the test. Yeah, yeah. Well, she's true. It will kill her, just not till the end of the movie. And Josh Hartnett is one of those guys I never minded. Like I said, I liked him on Halloween H2O. He has a bit more of a character, though, in this. Like, he has a bit more to the writing of the character, the different type of character he's playing, of this drug pusher, the fallacies of his character, and how he kind of mans up throughout the film. There's just a little bit more beat to the bone. While in H2O, I liked him, but it's just he's the son of Laurie Strode, and that's it. But I mean, he still did find that, and then again, Sin City had a bit part at the beginning. I liked him in Hollywood Homicide. I know a lot of people don't like that film with Harrison Ford, but I thought that was a fun film. I saw that in the theater. Not a classic or anything, but that was entertaining. And then what was that? The Bruce Willis one. Morgan Freeman was in it. Oh, God, forgot what the hell it was called. To look real quick. Josh Hartnett. Oh yeah, it was in Black Hawk Down. That's right. Which I liked that film. I liked him in 30 Days of Night. The movie itself has some issues here and there, but what was the name of that? Lucky Number 7. I think that's a bit of an underrated film. Did that go direct to video? I don't know if that went in the theaters. Well, I probably did, just very limited. I just very limited in theaters. But anyway, that's a bit underrated one. Well, I didn't realize he was an Oppenheimer. And then, that's the one interesting thing about the upcoming movie by M. Night Shyamalan, Trap, is that Josh Hartnett is starring in it. And it looks like Josh could be good in it, but it's written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and that's a whole other thing with M. Night, you know. If you know, you know. Now, of course, a lot more are under the control, and they want Josh's drugs because they know that's a threat to them. So they get all the supplies they can and try to destroy them. And you definitely see a difference in Famke Janssen's demeanor. Which, I mean, you know, he poked a little bit of holes into her business. Idea is because I'm listening to the dialogue, and that's why I'm not trying to talk over it because I haven't heard it in a long time. Yeah, you definitely tell Kevin Williamson had a hand in this. References to By Snatchers, references to Puppet Masters, which was before By Snatchers, so that's true. And then references to Barry Sonnenfeld, who had done Men in Black, Roland Emmerich, who had done Independence Day, Spielberg and Lucas, of course. Gotta be something. How about the creature you've never seen before that was in the damn fish tank? That she put her hand up and like you don't. We've never seen this species before, and now everybody's acting weird. Like you can't put the two together. There you go. I was gonna say. Well, well, there you go. Thank you for that. Thank you for not being so too stupid. Thank you. Is this where Jon Stewart comes into play? Because we're like 53 minutes in, so we're getting the group together. So we definitely got to get it up to the next notion of they're together and they now know something's up, so now they got to work together to figure out what to do next. I don't know, the girl playing Mary Beth. I mean, maybe that's the purpose. That is such a like a third southern accent. I'm the new southern girl. But I'm sure that's the purpose because something is a bit off. Yeah, it does make you wonder, like, why she doesn't just turn Josh Hartnett's character. I'm sure there's some explanation, but it's like this guy is making the product that could kill you and screw you over, wouldn't it be the one that you just want to turn immediately, or just if that turn, just kill or slit his throat or cut his balls off or something? Well, I'm sure a lot of viewers. Well, we saw Dave Masterson earlier. I'm sure he sneaked you through the back door, or a lot of people sneaked you through his back door in prison. So John Stewart's name is Furlong. So I wonder if that's an ode to Edward Furlong from Terminator 2, since Robert Patrick. Well, I don't know. It could be an ode to other stuff. Nice bit of slow-mo there with the paper cutter. Ooh, nice effect there, cutting the fingers. A little detail, the fingers. Up, here you go. Right in the eye. I like the little bit of the fingers crawling up. Damn, is that drug going to take effect anytime soon or what? There you go. Yeah, Nami, yeah. There's your Alka-Seltzer coming out. There you go. Now again, that seems like he's outright dead. I mean, just completely outright dead. So the fact that he comes back later, he's got an eye patch, you go, what? Why? Like, I mean, if the parasite is dead, then wouldn't he, but he's still alive, wouldn't he just be, okay, he's normal now? Because the parasite stuff is dead, but somehow the queen dies, somehow that makes him alive? It seemed like something that was written or done after the fact. It seemed like a lot more would be dead and stay dead. So this is what people were saying about how it's a lot about alienation. You know, you feel like you're the outsider at school and no one understands you, and so many people are a stranger, which is literally the case. Okay, right here, and okay, but here's the question I have: if all of these kids are turned, why don't they rush them, tackle them, and just knock them out, beat them to death, and turn them? When Mary Beth, we know now, is the queen. I guess the idea maybe is Mary Beth told them not to do it because she wants to, I don't know, study them, or I guess. Granted, I dislike a lot of movies. Why does the James Bond villain not just kill James Bond and instead they narrate for 10 minutes? You like me to talk or like you to die? It's like, well, damn, why don't the bad guys just kill the hero instead of doing this damn monologue? But I mean, an hour's already went by and I haven't felt too much of it, so it's not too badly paced of a film. Again, I'm going to keep repeating it's the cast that makes it work well with this movie. Like I said, I mean, there's not a whole lot of big special effects we've seen so far. I mean, we saw the little critter in the fish, the fingers running around, death scenes. You think three. The principal was stabbed, but then she's been turned and is alive. The old woman that piece of her face off over here. And then the John Stewart with the eye. Let's call it Gunman. So now they're doing the test on the mouse. So that some of that is definitely reminiscent of Puppet Masters with those string things coming out. I always think of the movie The Puppet Masters that came out in 1994, give or take. Which is funny. There's been like 4 versions of Body Snatchers, but there's only been one version of Puppet Masters. But yeah, these I don't know jellyfish, but these type of creatures that will come up and get right in the back of your neck because the tendrils will go to your brain and control you. And if you try to get it away from the host, more than likely you will kill the host. And again, anytime you have this kind of story, you always have the easy way out, which is not always, but a lot of times the easy way out of how we stop it. It's got to be a hive, and you kill one. If you kill one, the queen, everybody else dies. Because that way, you don't go through the well, how do you stop something that can never be stopped. Body Snatchers doesn't do that, but Puppet Masters did that. Guess Slither did that. Wasn't a queen, it was Michael Rooker, but still. There's other movies that do that. I'm not an alien. I'm discontent. So that line just caught. I don't know. I thought that's a pretty good line. Why are you fucking blaming everyone but yourself, Jordana Brewster? You seem pretty guilty. Doth speaketh a bit too much, Jordana. Yeah, this is definitely an ode to John Carpenter's The Thing, which I know Robert is a big fan of because on the L Raid Network, which I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, but there's a bit where he interviewed John Carpenter. And I know him and Tarantino, they love The Thing. I mean, The Hateful Eight, Tarantino, a lot of that score is like the stuff from John Carpenter's The Thing. I think some of that was never used before. And yeah, there's definitely an ode to the blood test scene in The Thing. He's tweaking. Let him fucking tweak. And yeah, this is definitely more of like John Carpenter's The Thing, the blood test scene, even with the gun stuff. Where Caruso had the gun and then shot, what was that? Richard Masser. Watch Clark, you hear me? Now you next. Will do you last? No, I just, it's, again, understandably so, it keeps making me think of The Thing, Caruso with The Thing, and then but I mean, The Thing was done a lot more suspenseful with the build up, the paranoia. It's a decent effort here, just not nearly as maybe just the way it's shot, the cinematography, the way it's directed. Here is just with I know Robert does that a lot because it's faster, handheld type of thing. I don't know when it's handheld like that. Just not as, I don't know. Uh-oh. Yep, there you go. Why the hell do you have the gun on Josh Hartnett? I don't understand why. Why did Elijah for like 30 seconds have the gun on Josh Hartnett? I don't know why. That was just strange. Of course, she's destroying most of the stuff. And you say that she allowed herself to get known so that it would take the trepidation onto her and away from Mary Beth. Because then apparently this queen wants to get to know how these humans work. Brad going to be her downfall. I mean, on the one hand, it's cool to see this group get to collectively be together, unlike Scream, where Scream, there are moments they're together, but when you get into the third act, they're all on their own separate things. There's Jamie Tandy over here talking with the group about the rules. Dave Campbell's going with Steve Ulrich. They're all doing their separate things, while here, nice to see this collective group be able to interact with each other. We have that song yet again, another brick in the wall. And of course, good room for them to infect more, as in the family, the team, the competing bit of business. Yep, there you go. Jesus. Hell of a damn clothesline, damn. Ready to break his damn neck. Yeah, I think there's still a part of me that does wish it was a bit more of a intense. Because I think that's the thing. I don't feel the much intensity or stares or definitely a lack of violence. It's missing a bit of that oomph to really put in that cult. Like whether they do like Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Willy's Wonderland, and I'm just saying like cult films and variety of them in general. Evil Dead films. I don't know, I know it's not fair. It's not going to be that kind of movie, but just a little bit more of that oomph factor. Like it is rated R, but there are times I almost forget and go, is it PG-13? I mean, no, it is rated R, but I'm like, there are moments I forget about that. I still don't get 100% why they assume she is the queen. I mean, I guess because she's the principal, but at the same time, it's like, but it doesn't really mean it. But I guess they had to start somewhere. But you would think Well, I guess they didn't know. Like, how would I mean? I guess you gotta start somewhere. This junk's for you. So yeah, the body count so far. It's the old woman. You think John Stewart, but you find out he's alive at the end. And then she's gonna die, and she don't come back. Which, like, everyone kind of forgets about that. Like, no one ever mentions, like, wait a minute, the principal is dead and she didn't come back and all this other stuff. But people just don't mention it, don't think about it, don't. They don't. Doesn't come to any coalition at the end there. But oh well. It is. Yeah. I mean, of course she's going to use it all because she wants to get rid of the stuff, but do it in a way that, I mean, at the time makes her think like she's a dumbass, but here is, she's just a Southern gal, and she didn't know anything. She's just so naive, and then lo and behold, she had a purpose in doing that. So, well, this is where Sean's going to get it, because they're going to like see if everything worked out. I mean. It still seems like a bad idea to just go out there and just, I don't know. At least this stuff between Clea and Sean makes a bit more sense. But then, like, by the end, Elijah and Jordana get together, and I'm like, okay, I get that Jordana and Elijah saw some Hyatt get killed together, but they didn't really share any scenes like this of intimacy or anything of the sort. Like, all you see is Jordana, while possessed, while under the influence, just verbally attacking. Okay, you think you would? Why did Sean gets this close to Robert Patrick's character? You tell me you can't see a bunch of fucking tendrils coming out of his face from like 20 feet, 30 feet away? And also, what happened? Did he not make a run for it? Did they all tackle him? Did he just give up? You think that, like, there'd be some marks on his face, like they tackled him, they beat him, they forced him down, there's bruises, a busted lip, something. Like, come on now. Like, he has to get this close to see that the guy is still an alien and all that stuff. Yeah, I'll turn on subtitles. Does it have this off for a bit? And actually, I'll be right back. Sorry, I had to do something real quick. I am paused at 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 1 second. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Sean is turned and screwed over their drugs, and granted, couldn't you just like not give him the whole needle, just give him like a put your finger down and put a little bit to your nose or something? It's a good moment for Josh. I'll show you some fucking pain. See, again, it makes you think that why don't... Again, it does make the audience question. I guess we know after you watch the film as to why, but if they know none of these folks are turned, why don't they all just completely come out of the woodwork and attack the school and climb over like a zombie apocalypse and such? I guess maybe waiting for this. But again, a whole town could just be surrounding them right now, instead of just waiting for this football team and that's it. Even then, the football team don't know where they're at. And this is another thing I did like, that at the end, kind of the two last remaining heroes are the two favorites of mine, Elijah Wood and Josh Hartnett. The geek and the drug pusher. The nerd and the drug, the brain and the drug pusher. Nice different combination there. There's Jordana Brewster being sultry and tempting. Now, granted, she tells about how, well, no one yet got a crush on me, all this other stuff. But granted, doesn't mean that you guys going to be kissy-faced by the end of the film, but... Like, this time with Clea Duvall and Sean seemed a bit more properly built up, it seemed. It's interesting they both have, I mean, Jordana Brewster and Fountain Johnson, they look like they could be related to each other. Both long, dark hair, similar body structure. Like one could be the other's mother or one could be the other's daughter type of thing. Or at least older, younger sister, however you want to put it. I will say, watching this film again, I don't think you would ever be able to tell that Robert Rodriguez directed this. There's not really anything in here that screams Robert, at least in my opinion, compared to like Desperado and some of these other movies. Although this is like one of the few action beats in the movie. It's not really a movie that has a cause for a lot of action in it. I say it is pretty few action bits. There's the bit with Jordana Brewster, her turning, and a little bit of the kerfluffle at Josh's place. This bit here with the car at the end when they're dealing with the big bad alien. Interesting bit there. Probably the most out there part of the movie. But there's not a whole lot of that type of stuff. Oh yeah, and the Jon Stewart stuff. But it's not a whole lot. I mean, we have 20 minutes left of the film, which includes end credits. I mean, granted, I don't know. What do I know? That's the thing. I never really know who watches these commentaries because there are people that request them. I don't know why, because I don't do a good job at them. Clearly, long silences, not a lot of. But that's the thing. When I watch films, I'm not this damn intellectual connoisseur that talks about the deep themes of a movie. I just, yes, every once in a while that's neat to do, but I don't do that with every film because for the most part I watch films for entertainment. Do I like the characters, or do I like the action, or do I like the effects, or is it funny, or is it crazy, that type of stuff. And that's how I taught. That's how I taught on the merit of a movie. Yep, and this is where we find out a bit of business here. Not bad design of the creature. I mean, a lot of it's heavily CGI though, and it's 1998 CG, so it's not, the best looking. And this is where Clea gets it. Ooh. Damn. Yeah, and yeah, that's clearly CGI, but I didn't mind that shot underwater. Oh, there's a little bit of practical effects there, but of course they cut it too short. Well, if we show the practical effects too much, it'll look fake. As if the CGI don't look fucking fake. That's what kills me about it. It's like, oh, we can't show the practical effects for too long because it'll look too fake. As if the CGI creature don't. I'll tell you which looks more faker. The fucking cartoon CGI, which I know was state of the art at the time, but really wasn't, and definitely isn't now. Let me tell you, the practical is still going to look better than the CG. That idea, that's what kills me. Don't show the practical too much; it'll look too fake for the audience. But let's show the CGI all front and center as long as we fucking can. But I was saying before, like, I mean, what do I know? I never really know who watches these commentaries, but because I know they don't get a lot of views, and they definitely don't get a lot of comments. Uh, a lot of times I don't even hear from the people who requested them. Like I did this one for 3,000 Miles to Graceland, which someone had requested, and as 198 views, and I don't think it has a single. Well, 10 thumbs up. Graham, and the same person commenting 8 times. So it's one person. So, but you know, it does make sense because these commentators aren't really that entertaining. Because that's the thing, I'm not going to bash a film I like. That's the thing, I'm not going to make fun of and bash a film I like. Because for the most part, I like it. And a lot of times with these films, I don't. It's not a whole lot I find wrong with a film I like. Because at the end of the day, that I want it to be entertaining, and the few bits of that I've already mentioned before. And but I'm not like, oh my god, the line in this scene is so much better than the line in that scene. It's too bad Josh Hartnett didn't have whole lot to do at the end here. I mean, he got thrown a bow and knocked the hell out. So he's one of the few to not get turned into a creature, or get taken over. But I do wish he had a bit more to do, and they could like help each other. I guess it's an interesting shot. Her shadow have a bunch of tentacles. Granted, you say why would that be the case, but it's a sci-fi film. You just go with it. Granted, you think her shadow. I mean, none of the other parts of the film does she have a shadow of tentacles. Why does she have it now? I appreciate the nudity. Pretty nice body, so I do appreciate that. So that's one thing. Some people, oh, why does she have to be nude? I'd be like, why not? But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, it is high school. How old is she supposed to be? I mean, well, it's an alien, but it's still the actress. If they're trying to play a high schooler, that means they would be 18 or younger. If it's younger than you. But I mean, with most movies, let's be honest, they cast like 20-year-olds, and that's why they cast 20-some-year-olds. Why do they cast these older people as fucking teenagers in high school? Because when they're kissing and macking on and or sexing it up or showing their titties, they don't want to show underage ones. That's why. I said I don't mind the design of the design of the creature. I don't mind. And it's cool that Elijah becomes the hero of this. And I always liked Elijah Wood. Again, I like The Good Son. Some of the stuff he's done in horror, like Maniac remake, I thought was pretty good. I like Cooties, that film. I know a lot of people don't like it. I thought it was pretty entertaining. The ending left a bit to be desired, but I liked it. So we're getting some practical here. We don't get to see a whole lot of it, but see, some of this practical looks pretty cool. I mean, you don't get to see a whole lot of it, but like you see, yeah, this right here. To me, this is the best stuff with the creature. Guarantee to jack you up. There you go. And then you got some makeup effects there going to his skin. But we're doing that just to show that they're dying off and things will work out. Again, very cool looking creature there. See, I wish we could have seen more of this, this practical creature. You wouldn't have liked it here. There you go. Don't ask me how I remember that, but... And I guess, like, you see the white overcoming it, I guess that's to leave the idea it'll melt and there'll be no evidence. So they can't show, like, the whole world, oh, there's a big damn alien here. So the evidence will disappear. But I think because you have this core group, you kind of, well, I guess they all had, she came up with the idea that there must be a queen. Josh had the weapon. And Elijah did the deed. So the idea, the weapon, and the actual implementation. They'll serve their purpose. 1 month later, in the most blasé font. There's Robert Patrick going crazy again. And look who joined the team. Go figure. Oh, you see a little bandage around her neck. So none of these people remember what they went through? I guess that's the idea? Like the people who were taking over? They don't remember what they went through? So would Famke's oh, okay, you see the TV here, so never mind. Take back what I said. I mean, come on, I should give Tim Williamson a little bit of benefit of the doubt. He's a pretty good writer. I even didn't mind that film he wrote, was it Sick? I know he's doing the new Stream film, but there doesn't. I don't care about a Stream 7. There we go. Hero or Hoax? Casey Connor saves school. Again, I don't really buy Elijah getting the girl here because there wasn't really a whole lot of build up to that. Because again, Jordana just taking over fairly early. Other than that bus scene where by that point she's turned, so she could have said anything. I don't know. Like I said, you didn't really see much of them like getting to know each other, but other than watching someone how you get turned. So I don't. There wasn't as much of a proper build up compared to other stuff. But anyway, that's The Faculty. Pretty decent film. I liked it. I wouldn't call it a favorite of mine, but like for Robert Rodriguez, my favorite is still. And like Stream, we have the face and the names put together, just like in the Stream. And just very much trying to be a sci-fi version of Stream. The soundtrack, Martha Beltrami doing the score, all that stuff. Chris McDonald, not Christopher. Chris McDonald. Yeah, what happened to the principal? Is she alive? Is she dead? I guess she's dead. So, and there's Jon Stewart somehow alive. I don't know why those two got a credit. Summer Phoenix and John Abrams. Like, I guess just to be funny. But Usher didn't get one. He got the poster, but he, you know, I forgot TMB did the effects. I just because I mean there aren't a humongous. I mean there's a couple bits of effects, but I just did the creature. To be fair, the creature. Stephen Elijah was fake. You know there's some. And of course they went alphabetical. That's why Jordana is first. And Elijah Wood like all the way down there because he got the W. That's okay. Few years later he'll have Lord of the Rings and he did fine. He did fine. Yeah, but Robert Rodriguez, I would say my favorite is still From Dusk Till Dawn. Then I would say Desperado. After that, I would probably put Sin City and Planet Terror above this. I'm not sure which I like more, Planet Terror or Sin City. Above this? Then maybe this afterward. So I guess Dust Till Dawn, Desperado. So I guess maybe top 5. I mean I like this more than his Spy Kids films or Lava Girls, Shark, whatever the hell, Sharktopus shit. His 15 Spy Kids movies. I like this more than Battle Alita Angel. I'm not a fan of that movie. It's a lot better than that last Ben Affleck film he did, Hypnotic. That was a piece of shit. Robert, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. It's like a lot of these directors lost their talent. Once Upon a Time in Mexico, funny enough, I got a request to watch and review that, and that's okay. But I would say I like this film more. It's a lot better than Sin City 2. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Later.